Hey everybody, Coach Amanda here, and welcome to my channel. I am the CEO and the owner of Grit and Grace Health and Wellness. I just wanted to hop on here real quick and share my story with you all for a few minutes, and kind of how my journey has been the last going on 3 years now. If you like what you see at the end of this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, Grit and Grace Health and Wellness, make sure you take time to do that. I would greatly appreciate it. So I actually got really serious. I have been a chronic yo-yo dieter for practically my entire adult life. It was probably, really starts back for me the spring of 2019. I was, of course, overweight. I have been overweight, as I just said, basically my entire adult life. I had tried many diets, many different things. I had tried medications, and most notably, I started an MLM. And those of you that don't know what that is, an MLM stands for multi-level marketing. And this company prided themselves on shakes and workouts, and I actually participated in that for a good, I would say, probably a year and a half, maybe, if I had to guess. And while I did get results, I did notice that I was bouncing back and forth between two different nutrition programs, and I would get results and then I wouldn't get results, and then I would get frustrated, as I'm sure many of you watching this have probably done the same. If any of my moms out there, my yo-yo dieters out there, you guys can probably relate to what I'm saying. And so I noticed, I had gotten results. I would say I probably lost a good 45, 50 pounds maybe. And then it was like I had stalled. You hear the dreaded plateau. Well, literally anything and everything that I tried just wasn't working anymore. The program I was doing wasn't working for me anymore. And so it was at that point I kind of came to the realization that maybe I needed a different approach. Maybe it was time to step outside the box. And I had actually been following really awesome lady on Facebook for about a year, and she was a former nurse turned fitness coach. She did online health and wellness coaching, and I followed her for about a year before I said, you know what, something's leading me to her. I was seeing her eat pizza, have date nights, eat Mexican food, all the things that I was really envious that I couldn't have because I was still under the spell of these food rules and just these really asinine tactics to try to get me to lose this weight. So I actually decided to go that route with her. And then all the while, I had a surprise come along right as I was hiring her, and I was diagnosed with alpha-gal syndrome. For those of you that don't know or haven't been following me, alpha-gal syndrome is a mammal meat allergy caused by a tick bite. I never knew that I was bitten by a tick. I mean, we are kind of outdoorsy people. We do camping and things like that, but I didn't know anything until I started having these really crazy anaphylactic-like reactions to foods I've eaten every day. Medications were triggering it. It even landed me in the ER at one point. And so right after I hired her, I was having the problem of being hungry, but of course I was going through a new diagnosis and trying to feel my way through it because there's not a lot of education out there about alpha-gal. So I was navigating through that, trying to find foods and things that I could eat just so I could live. There was probably a 2 or 3 week period there where I was just literally afraid to eat anything. I wasn't eating, I wasn't drinking, and quite frankly, I probably should have been in the hospital. So eventually, I'm still on the road to recovery with that, doing much better with that. But as I was working with her, I got into her program and we got to looking at things and, what my intake was looking like. And she said, your body is not ready to lose fat. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And basically I was eating anywhere from 800 to 1,000 calories a day. And I now know that. I didn't realize that back then, but that's not enough to keep a small child alive. And so she introduced me to a reverse diet. And it's something that I now teach. Now that I've learned it from her, I went and got my certifications in March of last year. I am an ISSA certified personal trainer and also certified in nutrition. And I'm also a registered nurse. So kind of used all that knowledge and that love for helping people. And then, of course, going through this process myself, I decided that's what I wanted to do. So, but a reverse diet is a process where you slowly and methodically add more food each week. And it sounded really backward to me. Like, I just was not receptive to it at all. Like, you want me to eat more food so that I can lose weight? And basically, there has to be some steps involved in order to repair that metabolism and that relationship with food. I had such a tainted relationship with food. I just knew I needed to do something different. And so I went through that. My reversal took about 10, almost the entire 12 weeks that I was with her. And so it was a very slow, long, frustrating process because I wanted results now. I was still in that mindset of, I'm ready to start seeing my clothes fall off of me. I'm ready to start getting results. But ultimately, my metabolism, my inner workings, and my body was not ready because I was starving, I was hungry, and there was a lot of stuff internally that was going on with me that my body was not in a phase of being ready for fat loss. And so once I learned those things, again, I got my certifications, I got the ball rolling, I decided that that's what I needed to do. So I'm very passionate about teaching reverse diet. It's not a preferred thing that a lot of people don't know about it, but it's not something that people just say, oh my gosh, I want you to help me do a reverse diet. Most of the time with my clients that I have to help, they kind of go through the exact same thing that I went through, like almost disbelief, like, you're telling me the opposite of what needs to be happening. But really, with this process, you have to have an open mind, okay? You have to take time and unlearn all those things you thought you knew about diet culture and about nutrition. And you have to kind of break that apart and undo it, and you have to learn something else. Also, you have to be very patient with the reverse diet. Every week you're told, okay, we're going to add 50 calories this week. We're going to add 100 calories this week. And by the time you get to 1900 calories, you're like, I've never eaten this much. I've done the 1200 calorie thing where I was told to eat hardly nothing. So you've got to be patient. You've just got to stick it out, have an open mind and be very patient. And the other thing you have to do is you have to let go of expectations. You have to let go of what you thought you knew about nutrition and fitness, because not everybody's body is in a prime state to lose fat and undergo the fat loss process. So, if I could tell anybody some words of wisdom about entering a reverse diet, it would be those three things. Have an open mind, be patient, and let go of everything you thought you knew, because it is going to take time. But overall, I think the reverse diet actually saved me. I was at a point in my life where I was starving. I wasn't feeling well. I was sick. I was irritable. And it was just because my body needed more food. I needed more food. So that's something I'm very passionate about. I love teaching about, even if you don't need a reverse diet and you're coming to me and your body is ready to undergo fat loss and undergo those changes that are about to take place, that's okay too. I'm also passionate about making sure that my clients are very well versed in the hows and the whys behind nutrition, and not just me throwing numbers at them. So that's just a little bit of background about me. I hadn't thrown up an intro video yet, and I wanted to just kind of briefly share. It's a lot more entangled, a lot more complicated than that, but I just wanted to share briefly with you what I'm about. I like to work with moms. I like to work with nurses and healthcare providers that work those long, crazy shifts, and I like to work with women that are going hungry and that are starving. That is my goal, is to make sure everybody knows that they don't have to go hungry and they don't have to starve. And there is a better way. So if you are wanting to learn more about, maybe you think you might need a reverse diet. So some of the things that you just might think of the top of your head might be fatigue. You're gaining and losing the same 5 to 10 pounds. You're just not feeling well, the scale's not moving, other non-scale things are not happening for you. It might be time to think about a reverse diet, especially if you're eating 800 to 1200 calories. It's just not good for us. So if you want to learn more, just make sure, like I said, give me a like, comment below, and we will figure out a way to get in touch with you. That way we can talk more with you about that and what your options are in working with me. So thanks so much. I appreciate it. Remember, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.